Hi everyone, welcome to the second lecture in the series of Unit Operations in Food Engineering 1. Already we have gone through the size reduction and size separation applications in the previous lecture. In continuation of that, we'll go through the remaining topics in the module 5. Here we will start with the particle size distribution, normally called as PSD. The particle size distribution is defined as the proportion of particles within a certain size range in a population of particles. We are having different methods for the determination of PSD, like sifting, microscopic examination, laser diffraction techniques, and others. Among these methods, sieve analysis is the simplest technique that is commonly employed for the determination of PSD. It is also used for the quantitative evaluation of the fineness of powders. In this one, a weighed amount of material is placed on top of a stack of nested mesh sieves with the opening sizes decreasing from top to bottom. The assembly of sieves is mechanically shaken or vibrated for a period of time, and the amount of powder retained on each sieve is then weighed and recorded. Today, most standard test sieves are designated by size of their openings in micrometers, but the traditional US standard and Taylor mesh number things are also widely used. The mesh number is denoting the number of openings per linear inch. Of course, we are having various types of particle size distribution, and they can be defined depending upon the parameter which we are considering. If the particles are counted and the result is the arithmetic or number PSD, if the particles are weighed as they are done in sieving analysis, the result is called mass PSD. Assuming that the true density of the particles is uniform, this is also the volume PSD. Similarly, the surface and surface to volume PSD can also be defined. Obviously, each type of PSD provides different type of mean particle diameter. Now we will see the theory behind the size reduction. When energy is applied in the form of stress on the material, it breaks into two or more pieces, resulting in generation of new surface area. Energy is used to break or overcome the intramolecular forces of the solid particles, so that they are broken into pieces and new area is created. A remaining amount of energy is dissipated in the form of heat energy. Normally, size reduction is a highly energy inefficient process. You can see the fracture mechanics of a particle in the right side of the slide. Grinding energy is one which is utilized to create a new surface area. So for the grinding energy requirement for making a new new surface area, we are having some terms to explain the amount of energy required, like crushing efficiency, crushing index, and so on. So here the crushing efficiency is defined as the ratio of energy utilized for creating new surface area to that of energy absorbed by the solids for crushing or grinding. The efficiency of crushing is always poor and is of the order 1 to 3% only. The remaining amount of all supplied energy is wasted as heat, since grinding generates a lot of heat in the materials. Sometimes the heat is so much that it is deteriorating the product quality. For example, in the case of grinding of spices, the generated heat would volatilize the essential oils which are volatile in nature. So here the formula for the crushing efficiency is given by eta C is equal to product of ES into difference between area of product and feed over energy absorbed by unit mass of materials. That is ES eta C is equal to ES into AP minus AF by E. Whereas this E subscript S stands for surface energy of food material per unit area. A subscript F is area of the feed particle. A subscript P is the area of the product. E is the energy absorbed by unit mass, that is 1 kg of material. Now we will go through the types of size reduction. Size reduction is also known as comminution in the engineering literature. It can be broadly classified into following 4 methods, that is compression, impact, shear and cutting. But in some literature it is given as only compression, shear are there. Of course the impact and cutting follows within these 2 categories. But for our case, let us consider all the 4 as types of size reduction. The principle behind compression is application of cohesive force for crushing to reduce the particle size. The force applied at a time with a hammer to the material is known as impact. Hammering is an example of impact. Shearing is an attrition force or rubbing force applied to the material to bring down the particle size to the finer sizes. Grinding and milling are attrition operations. Grinding stones, disc mills, chucky mill, that is a stone mill, plate mills, all are some of the industrial or domestic units used for the size reduction. Cutting is a generic term used to indicate size reduction. Usually it results in particle of 2 or more pieces. Cutting with a knife or hacksaw or saw into smaller pieces are used in industries. Now we will see the principles and the laws regarding grinding. Already we have seen that size reduction operations are heavy in energy consumption. It is highly energy inefficient process. That is also we have seen, because 1 to 3% of the energy supplied is converted into new area creation. So the energy transferred to the material corresponds to the work of deformation and is stored in the particles as internal stress. When the particle fractures, the stored energy is released. Part of it provides the increment in the surface energy resulting from increased surface area, but most of it is released as heat. Eventually, friction losses also generate heat. The total energy consumption of a mill consists of 2 parts: energy imparted to the milled material, energy needed to overcome friction in bearings and other moving parts of the mill. Grinding laws are based on the energy required to reduce the size of the material to create a new surface. Ultimately, it will not be including the energy needed to overcome frictions in bearings and the moving parts of the mill. Now, regarding grinding laws, we are normally assuming the energy required to create a small change in the particle size is proportional to the size of the particle. So we are having different laws which describe different values or different results depending upon the assumption. So the general formula for the grinding is given as minus dE over dL is equal to K into L power n. Here the dE is the term represents the energy required to create a new length dL. in a unit mass of particle length capital L. Here the k and small n are constants which can be determined by different experiments. Also for the loss we will be assuming certain range of values for k and n in this rule, which can be seen in the slides which are coming.